Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hi Prince.
Yeah, hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I am fine.
Okay. Okay. Shall we start?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, tell me about yourself and explain the whatever you project doing in current organization and what is total experience.
Yeah, so my name is Prince Kumar. I am from Bhopal. Then after like sorry. Yeah, I am Prince. I am from Bhopal and I have completed my graduation from RGP University. And then after I joined a Techno Identity Solutions and I'm doing work as a software engineer. And in the this technology I'm doing work on like Agastya project, and I learned the technology like Spring Boot microservices. On those technology I'm doing work on that. And then after I joined Overlays Solutions, and in Overlays I'm doing work as a software engineers. Or here we have a we are giving the continuous support to the client, and then after whatever the internal development we have, so we are doing. Yeah, and like project is like it's a product. So overlay is a product, and on those product, we have a data catalog, data governance, data quality rules. Those are the main modules we have. Service decks. So data catalog means we are whatever the client having a data on the some repository or some cloud. So we are pulling all those data and we are storing inside data catalogs, and on those data client will able to like grouping and tagging and provide the term on that. So those are the features we have in this. And client will analyze the data and he can build the like proper business on that. So basically the tools is like analyzing the data, do the operations on the data, and do some other activity also on data, restrict the data, provide the like access permission of the data. So like that activity user can do on those data. So those are my project.
Okay. Okay. Turn on your camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Which tool you use in your current project?
Current project, I'm using Spring Boot microservices, those
No, no.
technology.
Which tool? Which tool?
Which tools means for what?
Which tools means where you send the data, send your code for testing peoples and like that activity.
So for develop our project, we are using the Eclipse or STS, and we are pushing our code to the like Bitbucket, or we are using the Git, and then after we are using the whatever the Jenkins tools we have, and for the deployment we are using the AWS, and for manage the tickets or issue whatever we have. So for that we are using the Jira tools.
Okay, so can you explain brief in Jira?
Jira is something like it's a project management tools. So we can track the like whatever the tickets we have. We can see the status like whatever the employee corresponding those tickets he doing the work on that. So we can see what who is the reporter for that ticket, who is the developer for that ticket, when it will complete, what is the status of tickets, what is the ETA for that. So we are checking all those things through the tickets, and we are analyzing when we are going to finish our sprint or when we can deliver our project to the customers. So like that activity we are tracking with the help of Jira.
Okay. What is a Scrum?
A Scrum is something like it's a call will happen in for every sprint. So a Scrum call is one is like a regular meeting will happen. and we are taking the status of every people's, like what are the progress is going on. And then after Scrum, we have a meeting, like if you have some features or improvement. So we are and like creating one meeting which is called a Scrum meeting, and in this meeting we are discussing like what are the features we have. We are breaking into the multiple parts. We are assigning those tickets to different developers, and we are calculating the how much time it will take to complete it. So all those things we are discussing in the Scrum meeting.
Okay. Okay, share your screen.
Okay.
I'll give you a question in your chat box.
Okay.
So open any ID and do it.
ID like Eclipse.
Okay, fine.
So write a program to find the name and in the last which shared with a started with a characters using the Java features. Okay, input is something Anurag, Aman, Ram, or Raju, or output is Anurag, Aman. So if it is correct, the string is started with a, we have to print it.
Yes.
Okay. So I will create one main method. And inside this, I will take those value. So I will create one list which is taking the string value, and this is the list, and I will store those data. So I will say arrays dot as list, and inside the list I will put all those data, semicolon. And so this is our list. So I want to find out only starting with a. So I will do with Java feature is list dot stream, and I will do the filter on that predicate, and I will take one name. So I will take name like that, and also I will check like name dot start with. So I have a name, so I can check like name is start with something A. So what I will do, I will print all those data. So I will iterate the for each loop, and here I will write the system dot out lambda expression print ln. So it will print all those data which is started with A. So simply I can run. So it will print Anurag and Aman.
Okay, it's fine. See your
Sorry. Hello.
Check inside your chat. I'll share you another questions.
Write a program to generate the largest number possible using these digits. Create one employee class, override the hash code method, map. Okay. The employee object as a key and value is the integer value. Put the map and explain the internal working. Yeah. So I will take those steps. So first I need to create a employee class. Okay. So I will create one class equal to employee. Whatever the data like ID, name we have to declare, we can declare it. And override the hash code method. So in this method only, I will write one hash code method. So publics int hash code will return the integer value. I will write hash code and return one or something value it will return. I will write the override. Overrides. So like that we can override the hash code method, create one map and store in the employee object as a key and value is an integer value. Okay, so I will create one map here. Map is employee. Is employee and value is integer. Map. New HashMap. And I can put the value inside this put dot map dot put. We can create a new employee. One. One, two, three. Explain the internal working of map. Okay, so in that case, we can say like we have already created the employee class and we have created the one employee map and we are inserting the data. So while creating a map, it will take two parameters here, like having a constructor of the hash map is like initial capacity. Initial capacity. And second one is like how much it will increment. So increment rate we can say or something like initial capacity or like threshold value we can say. So those we can like numbers of percentage will increase. So we can decide those parameters. So in our case, there is a default only. So it will take like default one is the size is 16 and increasing rate is like 0.75, like after 75%. So while inserting in data, like if you call the map dot put, so this will become a ID. So it will generate the hash code for that. So in our case, if you go to the employee class, we have already override the hash code method, so it will return 1. So if it is returned 1, so we have a like 16 bucket and every bucket having a one linked list. So while inserting a data, like it will go to the, like it will find the index number. So while finding an index, the hash code value is 1. It will try with the end operators with the 16. So it will get some index value which is 2 or something. So based on 2 bucket, it will store the data inside this HashMap on those particular index. So like that, it will insert the first value. Same thing, it will go and it will check. So for that also, it will return same value, like hash code value. So again, it will go and it will insert in that place only. So like that, it will work internally. So for the using the map, we need the like hash code equals methods. It's mandatory to override in our class and like internal working, like whatever the like HashMap or those are working, we have to implement same to same. Yeah.
Okay. What is your difference between HashMap and hashtable?
HashMap and hashtable.
Yeah.
HashMap is not thread safe, like multiple thread can access at the same time. And hashtable is a thread safe and it's a legacy class also. So those are the difference having both.
Okay. So how to make our class is synchronized or thread safe?
Yeah. So making some particular classes or methods, we can use the synchronize keyword. Through that, we can make our method or some particular resources as a thread set.
Okay. Can we make a variable thread safe?
Yes, we can make it
How?
through the synchronize keyword.
Okay. What is difference between overload and override?
Overloaded and override. So overloaded means like in the same class having a multiple method with the same name and different parameters, orders or type of those parameters, then we can consider those method as a method overloading. And if like a two classes having a relationship like parents or child, and both like parent class having a some method and the same signature method is available in the subclass also, so we can say those are the method overriding.
Okay. Can you explain in brief multi-thread?
Okay. So like in core Java, we are creating a two-way of the like thread class and we are using it. But in the real time, in the Spring Boot, we have a like all those having a library. So through the library, we are running the thread or asynchronous call and we are doing the operations on that. So in the real time, we are using the like Quartz or something, which is library, which help to like create a threads and we are running it and it will like do the asynchronous call and it will complete our whatever the task we have. So same thing in the Java level basics, we can say like we can create a threads with the help of the runnable interface or thread class, or we can do like Like runnable interface having a run method. So through that methods, we can run our
Why we create runnable interface? What is use of in future runnable interface?
we can like we have a two options. We can go with the thread class or runnable interface. So
Okay,
while going with the thread class, like if you extend the thread class in your classes, so you are not able to extend some other classes. So this is the restrictions you got. So if you know, like maybe in the futures, if I want to extend some other classes, or maybe I do some other operations for that. So you don't want to go with the thread class and extend it. You have to go with the runnables. So as of now, like you can implement the runnables, and later if you want to like implement some other class also, so you have a chance to implement it. So for that, we are going with the runnables.
okay. How many functional interface in Java 8?
Java 8 functional interface.
How many function in Java 8?
Okay, so we are saying like predicate,
Hmm.
consumer, producers, those.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are mainly force we are using every times, like predicate, function, consumer, producers. Those are the mainly everyone use in Java 8 features.
Okay.
So
What is
predicate,
consumer?
yeah, okay, consumer. So
Yes.
consumer is something who just consuming the data, he not given any return value. So those are the consumer.
Okay. And what is producer?
Producer is something like who able to produce the data like iterator. So we can say those are the producers.
Okay. Okay. What is difference between monolithic architecture and microservices architecture?
So in my monolithic architectures, we are putting all those like whatever the backend code, whatever the front end code we have. So we are putting all those code inside the one project, and we are building one war file, and we are deploying on the server. But in the microservice architectures, we are breaking the project monolithic in the multiple parts, and we are creating a multiple jar for that. And all those jar we are deploying the separately on the different port number, different environment. We can use the different database for that also, and we can deploy the whatever the UI code we have in some particular place, or dynamically we can call those all those API. So those are
Okay.
the basic difference of the.
If I have Okay, if I have already monolithic architecture, so why we move on microservice architecture?
Okay. So if you already have a monolithic architecture and if you want to move it, so moving region is like, for example, your project is very big. You are unable to maintain it. You are unable to like scale it. Like so many disadvantage you got. So like you are unable to scale those project in the large level because of it's a monolithic, because like all those developers are dependent to each others, they are doing work. So because of that we are going with the microservice architecture, so that every modules will work separately, and every modules having a separate developer, they will do separately work. They will not disturb one module to another module. So the chance of the microservice architecture is becoming a large
Your
is
camera
very.
is not visible.
Okay. Now it's fine.
No, it's not. Your video is off. Hello.
Yeah, maybe having some problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What is key component of a Spring Boot?
So key component of the Spring Boot is like console and terminal, we can say, or we can say the initializer, dev tools, or actuator.
No, no. Key component of a Spring Boot.
Yeah, key component only actuator,
Yes.
terminals, initializer, dev tools. Those are the key component.
Okay. What is actuator?
Actuator is something like we already have a API, and we have tried to like get some informations about those API. What is the health, and what how many calls are happen on those API. It's a up or down. So getting additional informations about those API endpoint, we are using the actuator.
Okay. What is MVC?
MBC is something like uh, it's a model view controller. So it's a one of the design technique, we can say. So in this model view controllers, model is something like entity or model class, and it is able to take the request of the data. View is something like whatever the JSP page or HTML page we have. So we are considering those page as a view, and controller is something who is able to access or take the request from the UI side. So we are considering the request as a controllers. So controller will like whatever the UI request you have sent through the get put post method, it will come to the controller. Controller is able to like take those requests, and he able to proceed with this. And while proceeding, we required a model class. So model class is something like he able to take the request of the data, and then we can do all those process, and then after finally we can set those data to the particular view page. So we can send the view name, and whatever the details we have to send, we can attach with this, and we can send it. So UI peoples will take those data, and he will do the needful work on that.
Okay. What is join?
In SQL.
Yes.
Okay. So join is a one of the like technique to collect the data from the multiple tables. So while like fetching the data from the multiple tables based on some conditions or rules, we can go with the join.
Okay. Can you explain with example? Left join. What is left join?
Left join is something like we have a two tables, so we can consider one table from the right and one is left. So it will take the all those details from the left tables and whatever the matching details having a right tables. So those are the things it will consider. So we can say those are the left join.
Okay. Okay. What is dependency injection?
Dependency injection is like one class is dependent on another class object. So we can say those are the dependency injections. In a Spring, having a like two, three types dependency injection, setter injection, constructor injection. So through that, we are injecting the object, and we are creating an object for that.
What is IOC container?
IOC stand for inversion of control. So IOC is responsible to maintain the life cycle of created object. So whenever we have like annotated some class as a component, with the stereotype annotation at the rate service at the rate bean. So whatever the object stereotype annotation we have used for that, it will create an object for that. And whatever the object is created, it will be stored in the IOC container, and he is able to maintain the life cycle of those objects.
Okay, how to create object in a Spring Boot?
We can
Which
create
annotation we use?
at the rate afterward.
Okay. Any other?
Uh, we are using at the rate bean, at the rate auto add, at the rate lazy, at the rate qualifier. So those are helping to
Okay.
create an object.
Okay. So, how to authenticate our API?
In microservice architecture,
Yes.
so authenticating a API, we need API gateway. So, like for example, we have deployed multiple application in the multiple environment, and we need to like authenticate every users for all those API access. So for that, we have to create one API gateway, and whatever the user request will come, we can provide the one endpoint which is API gateway. And once request will come, we can first validate those requests, like this is the valid user for accessing our API or not. Once validation is done, then after we can proceed with the corresponding API call.
Okay. You mentioned Kafka. Can you explain in your current project how you use Kafka?
Yeah, Kafka is something if you want to send frequent microsecond of the frequent data transfer, that time we have to use the Kafka. It's given the better performance on that. For example, we have
How
streams of.
how you use?
Okay, so while using we have to configure for the, like we have to create one class, we have to configure the, like what is the producer, what is the consumer, what data consume the consumer, what data produce the producers, like it's a JSON or it's XML, how many data of the amount. So we can define all those data inside the configurations. And then after we can create like two microservices, and we can create one method, we can annotate those method as a producers, and one method as a consumer. So consumer will produce the data, and like who is the consumer, he will able to consume those data. Like that it will work. So for that, in my application, I have used for the notification. While sending a notification to the multiples doctors, like a nurse or caretakers, for that we have used.
Okay, Prince. My side done. Do you have any question?
No, I don't have.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.